housemate I have ever had. One day she comes into the kitchen when I'm making dinner and she tells me I can't cook anymore.
Maybe you don't cook anymore. Yeah. Just smeared grease everywhere.
There's a guy next to us and he's making a bomb.
They stayed there for months. Back.
Hello everyone. This is becoming more of a regular thing now.
Well, because I'm always at home with a broken foot.
Yeah, update. Justin's foot is still broken.
Yeah.
He will be getting surgery to remove his pins in
2 weeks.
2 weeks' time. Then he'll learn to start to walk again. And then we'll be on track to being a normal human couple again.
Yeah.
Oh my god, it has been
torturous.
It has been hard, not gonna lie. We're on the road to recovery. Anyway, I wanted to get Justin in the video today. I thought it'd be fun to do something different. Today we're gonna be talking about...
What are we talking about?
Roommate horror stories, housemate horror stories, because we have had our fair share of housemates. Trust me.
Yes.
We counted how many housemates you've had.
Over 35.
And that's only in the last, like...
6 years, 7
6
years?
years.
8 years.
That is crazy. We've had some real experiences, so we thought we'd tell some funny stories with you guys today. Let me know below, do you live by yourself? Do you live with your family? Or do you have housemates? Because if you have any like housemate horror stories, I would love to know them as well because I find them so funny. Let's start off with university days.
No.
What?
So let's start off with, how did it start? Why did you have to live with other people initially?
Okay, so when I was 18, I decided to go to university and we lived in halls.
How many people did you live with?
So first of all, I lived with, I think it was 5 or 6 other people. We were all in the same like dorm.
6 other people.
But in the UK, you have your own room. I know in America they like share with other students, which I find crazy. What? 2 people will share a room.
Not your own room?
No, I can't imagine doing that. I could never do that. I think that's too invasive. Like, I need my own privacy. So
need your own bathroom.
yeah, we had our own bathroom and our own dorm.
Room. I think my problem with my first year was that everyone was a bit too straight and narrow. So they weren't up for having any fun. So they didn't want to make any noise, they didn't want to make any mess.
Oh, so they were boring.
Boring, yeah.
Yeah, that is boring. I had some really odd characters. So there was this guy. Imagine if any of these people were watching. So, what should we call him by his real name?
You can.
His name was Dan and he always wore gloves. So we called him Glove Man Dan.
Glove Man Dan.
It was so odd.
But they were fingerless gloves.
Fingerless gloves, but he always wore gloves.
Yeah. Summer.
Cooking.
Anytime.
Everything.
And he always wore, your guy wore, because we lived in the same halls. So I even saw him, I was like, this guy is a bit weird. And he lived with in your flat.
And he walked around wearing a big black, like Matrix looking trench coat.
He had a radioactive symbol in his window.
Yeah, he had a radioactive symbol on his door and he was just an odd character. And so me and my housemate who lived next door to me, we thought that he was making a bomb because he kept making comments about how he was making things in his room. Then we saw there was all like these chemicals and weird things and like a radioactive sign on his door.
Yeah.
So that was, it made us like feel really uneasy because we were like, there's a guy next to us and he's making a bomb. I remember one time we were both in my bedroom and we looked outside and he was outside pretending he had a gun in his hand. It was like
and he must have been 19, 20.
Pretending to shoot up our building.
So he's not a kid. He's just a grown adult.
And I was like, no, we can't live with this guy anymore. This is scary. It's weird sharing places with people and houses with strangers because you don't know what they're like. They could literally do anything.
But what tends to happen is you get some messy people. They might use their pot or their plate, refuse to wash it up, put it on the windowsill. They run out of all of their plates. They run out of all of their pots. So you've got pots and pans with just a little bit of water and washing up liquid in them.
Yeah.
And then they start using your pots and
They
plates.
start accumulating, like you have months and weeks worth of
It'd be months.
pots.
It'd be a full term, 3 months.
That's insane. That
Disgusting.
haven't been washed and they would just like go green. Like if you're a uni student, guaranteed you're gonna have a kitchen with stuff that's got mold in it.
Yeah,
like it's just a guarantee.
It's a given.
I was one of those lazy people that didn't wash up, to be fair, at uni. I know it would have killed you, but
3 months worth.
I know.
Did you start using other people's plates and pots?
Yep.
Really?
Yep.
She's one of them people. Wow.
Now that is acceptable, I feel like, when you're a student. But as you grow older, these things need to change.
Every year I've lived with different people. I've never lived with someone for more than 1 year.
Yeah.
There were 2 girls in this house and they used to boil chicken. And that's how you want to cook it, you can cook it. But what they would do is they would start cooking it, go and watch 4 episodes of Game of Thrones. 4 hours later they come down and it's charcoal. It's just burnt to the bottom of the pan.
They do the same thing like every day.
But what they would do is, because it's very difficult, it's burnt on the bottom of the pan, it's very difficult to clean it. So they get a bit of water, washing up liquid, and they put it on top of the cupboard, letting it soak. They stayed there for months.
And then they had accumulated all these saucepans of soap where they burnt the boiled chicken, but they just kept doing the same thing
Every
over
day.
and over. Didn't they also leave like sultanas all over your kitchen floor?
We thought they were mice poo.
So every time I used to come and visit, I thought there was
You got mice.
mouse or rabbit droppings all over the kitchen floor,
Yeah.
but there's always just a trail of sultanas on the floor. It's the funniest thing.
That was strange.
Okay, so there was a few houses after that, but when we moved to Singapore, we started house sharing again. We've had some characters
That's some good
as
ones.
housemates in Singapore. So the first place, we were sharing a bathroom with another girl. It was us two and another girl sharing the same bathroom. And she was a nightmare.
The messiest,
She
dirtiest person.
First of all, there would be endless hair all over the bathroom floor. I shed hair as well, trust me, I shed hair. But her hair was everywhere. There wasn't an inch of the bathroom floor that wasn't covered in hair. But she wasn't cleaning it at all. And there'd be times where she'd leave like her used sanitary stuff on the bathroom side.
Just on the side.
Just on the side, and it was almost like she completely forgot that she was sharing a bathroom.
But there's another one. We come back, there's sick everywhere.
We came back to the toilet. There was sick all over the toilet and on the floor, and I had to leave a note because we weren't on speaking terms by this point. I was so
Past that.
annoyed with her all the time that I left her a note saying, please, if you're going to be sick, can you
At
just
least
clean it up?
Yeah.
She was a nightmare. I don't recommend sharing bathrooms with people. It's not fun at all, and I hate being that person that has to write notes. If you're living with other people, just like...
Yeah. We had a live-in landlord.
We lived with our landlord. I don't suggest it, guys.
No.
I don't recommend it. We got on with her well. She was nice, but towards the end, there was things that she started doing where...
Because I can appreciate if you're a landlord, you want your place, you've spent a lot of money, you want it to be well kept, but
if you are this level of landlord,
extreme.
don't have people living in your properties.
It's like you didn't want people walking on the floor.
Yeah.
Don't use the kitchen.
Don't breathe.
Still had the plastic wrap on everything.
Yeah.
Don't use it. Paying this rent and we can't use anything.
Yeah. So one day she decided she was going to get a cleaner to clean our bathroom. We've never had a cleaner. We always said that we would clean the bathroom like it's no problem. One day we wake up, there's a cleaner in our bathroom. She didn't even notify us and tell her that it was going to happen. And then she demands money from us to pay the cleaner. And so we were like, why did you get a cleaner? Like, we clean our bathroom. She was like, oh, they're professional cleaners. They're not professional cleaners.
They're mates.
They're just maids.
Yeah.
We can literally do exactly the same job. And she demanded that we paid for it. She's spending our money without even asking us. She didn't even tell us.
I said, imagine me buying a TV and then requesting half for it.
Yeah, you need to pay me for that TV I've just bought. Like, what?
Yeah,
You
what?
can't do that.
Yeah, you can't do that.
So then tensions were like starting to run high. And then she tells me, we're literally like a year, probably like 12 months living in this place. Yeah. One day she comes into the kitchen when I'm making dinner and she tells me I can't cook anymore.
Maybe you don't cook anymore, yeah.
Light cooking only, and I was like, what is heavy cooking? Yeah. Apparently heavy cooking is using the hob. Anything. So I don't think she didn't like the smell when I was making food.
I think it was just the fact that she didn't want anything used. She wanted it brand new.
Yeah.
Because it was a brand new place.
It was brand spanking new.
And even so, we moved in, and the air conditioning leaked. So it's nothing to do with us.
Yeah.
But what it done is it damaged the paint a bit. Obviously, it made the paint wet, and she made us pay for it.
Did she?
Yeah.
I don't remember that.
I was like, why are we paying for that? We've told you that it's a defect. You've got the guys to come back to repair any defects within the 1 year.
Yeah.
And we had to pay for the servicing and the repainting and the filling of the wall.
God's sake. It just seemed like she was trying to get money out of us any way she could. And trust me, we were already paying way too much for the rent. We were paying for this tiny box room that we were sharing.
We were paying enough.
And in the end, she basically drove us out. She was like, why are you leaving? And I was like, honestly, because we can't stand this anymore. Like, I don't suggest living with the landlord. No. It is a nightmare, especially when they're a bit of a control freak.
Yeah.
So the next house we lived in, we lived with housemates again. I think we had 4 housemates. They were chopping and changing. But this one guy will go down in history
The worst.
as the worst housemate I have ever had in my life. Where do we start? The week he moves in, the whole apartment starts
Smelling.
to smell. I can't explain the smell.
Imagine running a marathon in Singapore, coming back, not having a shower, sitting in the kitchen with no shirt on.
Yeah. Oh yeah, he kept sitting. So he's walking around the house with no top on, and no exaggeration, he smelled like garbage. He smelled absolutely atrocious, like he hadn't washed for weeks.
Every Friday he would smell very clean because that's when he would go out drinking.
Oh, okay. So he washed on Fridays.
On Fridays.
So we had to start complaining to the agents. We had to start complaining, being like, this guy, his hygiene, personal hygiene, it's awful.
It's criminal.
Not only did he smell so bad, but his hygiene in general was atrocious. Sinks started to fill with all his shit that he just wasn't washing up.
I go into the kitchen, I look into the microwave, it's on. He's got pasta, reheating pasta on the glass dish.
Yeah.
So he's not put the pasta on anything, and he wouldn't clean the dish afterwards. So he would take the round glass.
You know
dish,
the round glass thing that you find in a microwave?
in the bottom of the microwave.
He would use that as his plate.
As a plate.
So he put spaghetti on that, fucking put it in the microwave, heat it up, and eat off the microwave
But then just
tray
put it back, not wash it
that
back.
we're all using. This is a communal kitchen. He would also put raw meat on that tray, not on a plate, and put it straight in the microwave. And I said to him, you can't do that. And he was like, why not?
Why not?
Because it's raw meat. I was like, we're going to all get salmonella. And he just didn't understand any basic hygiene. And any time that we called him up on it, he would make excuse.
So we had a WhatsApp group chat.
After excuse. Then it wasn't him.
Why do you always accuse me? Why is it always me?
He was.
Because no one else eats that.
He always played the victim card. How do you know it's me? Why do you think it's me?
Yeah.
Hey,
So there was
we
one.
know it's you.
I see him. He was eating on the glass table in the kitchen. The table would obviously have grease or whatever on the table. I saw him eating. I went back into the room. I go back out. He's clearly wiped the table, but he's just smeared grease everywhere, and it's a clear glass table.
Yeah.
If it's greasy, it's quite obvious, and it looks disgusting.
It was just
I go in the kitchen,
smeared.
I go back in and I say, okay, whoever's just wiped the kitchen table, it's a mess, can you please clean it up? So then he takes a photo of the kitchen table, he goes, I don't know what you're talking about, I've already, I cleaned it already. So he's clearly run back in, cleaned it quickly, taken a photo and denied it.
He was it was comical because he was like a child the way that he would respond. He wouldn't be like, yeah, sure, sorry about that. He would just like pretend that he didn't do it. He's like, I don't know what you're talking about.
That wasn't me.
That wasn't me.
It was you.
It was so funny, but so frustrating at the same time. I found him on Facebook, basically. He'd taken our plastic kettle, put it on the hob, lit the hob, and took a photo and put it on his Facebook saying, is this how you're supposed to do it?
Yeah, I know it's a joke, but
it
it's
was
plastic.
A fire hazard. He put a plastic kettle under a lit hob. So many times he would leave the oven on.
As well as he would leave the gas
He would leave the gas and the hob and the oven on.
So the flame just running.
All the time.
All the time.
Like, our house could have been set up in flames so many times. So not only was he unhygienic, he was a bloody danger hazard.
Danger.
And we felt so uncomfortable living with him.
You can't choose the people you live with.
You cannot. Probably up there with one of the top worst housemates we've ever had.
Yeah.
And in general, just people that are using when you're sharing cutlery with other housemates, it's like someone is accumulating every single glass, every single plate, every single mug in their bedroom, to the point where you literally go to the kitchen to make yourself some food. There is not a single utensil left in the cupboard.
Left. And then all of a sudden they all come back.
And all of a sudden they reappear. That is the most frustrating thing.
So I do know what you're talking about.
And in hindsight, I think it's gross that we shared cutlery with and utensils with strangers for so long. Like, it is really gross when you think about it.
It's no different to eating in a restaurant.
I suppose not. Fast forward to today, we finally have our own apartment, living our best lives, no more housemates to deal with.
Done with house sharing.
So done, so over it. I never want to share with the other housemate ever again. I think cracks will start to show even if you're living with friends, because you'll be like, I didn't know they were this messy, or I didn't know they were like annoying when it comes to this.
Because some people have some strange habits.
They do.
You never know until you live with them.
Yeah, and you can't hide them when you're living with someone. But yeah, those are some of our horror stories. I hope you enjoyed hearing our stories. Be sure to give this video a thumbs up, guys. If there is anything else that you want us to talk about, any other topics, do let us know. I thought this would be a funny one to share. Be sure to hit the subscribe button, guys, if you want to see more from us. And thank you guys so much for watching, as always, and we will see you in the next one. Bye!
Bye.